Ned Rig falling down. See them all coming up chasing it. And whichever ones you see, they're all going to bottom. Dude, if they want to follow and chase but not eat, then I guess we'll try a reaction bite. Look at all those, wow. Got him, first cast with the Jigging Rap. Dude, look at all those fish. Holy smokes, there's a ton down there. That was so tasty to throw back. What am I doing? Dude. Can you try to figure out some walleyes? Can you still tell I have a ridiculous shirt on? So here's what's going down. I finally realized why I always struggle in walleye tournaments and walleye league night, whatever, when money's on the line. I fish differently. I fish memories. I fish that aren't biting. I squat where I caught them the day before. I always win pre-fishing, right? So today, we're gonna go out and do some pre-fishing. I don't fish this lake in the summer, and I haven't been out here since May. I have no idea if the fish are shallow or deep. We're gonna run and gun, hit some spots, and kind of show you what I'm looking for, how I try to break it down to find walleyes that are biting. So on to spot number one. I don't know where that is yet, but we'll figure it out. In my opinion, the hardest thing about summertime walleyes is there's a ton of fish up in the weeds. They're hard to graph. Kind of, you have to fish the spots to figure out if there's fish there. So what I do is I scan the outside edges, the obvious points, the weed points, the corners, the stuff that's like the high percentage stuff. I'll scan that before fishing, but sometimes when those fish are buried in the weeds, the only way to figure out if they're in there and if they're the right size, the right species, is to fish it. So I'm going to start on a little weed hump. Tops off at 10, 15 feet of water. Kind of in like 17, 18 is where that cabbage coontail mix tapers off into deep water. And we're gonna scan, see if there's bait fish around. I'm already seeing some bait fish out deep off the edge in 30 to 40 feet. But we're gonna look at side imaging first and look for those obvious shadows that will hopefully be on the outside edge, because that just makes life a lot easier for me. Then I know I can just drive around and look with my electronics versus casting. But we're not gonna fish unless we see fishy looking stuff, which is what I always do wrong in walleye whackers and walleye tournaments. Is I race to where I caught him the day before, and you're so worried about the next guy beating you there, getting there where you caught him, that you don't do what you normally do, where like pre-fishing, I would never just pull up and start fishing there. I would scan it first, because what if those fish are 200 yards that way or a quarter mile that way? And man, I always fall victim for getting greedy and not wanting another boat to slide in where I think they're gonna be, and not scanning and looking around first. So let's snoop. Lots of bait. Even we're in 28 feet of water, there's tons of them, assuming they're little perch. Yeah, so right now too, walleyes can be eating a little bit of everything. There's big bug hatches going on all over the place, which just reintroduces food everywhere. So that's tough. I mean, they're feeding on perch and even bluegills up in the weeds. You got some feeding on shiners. They'll eat, mayfly larvae and bugs that are hatching. So that's the other kind of wild card. Is it's easy early spring. It's like, hey, they're feeding on shiners. The shiners are on shallow sand. Or, just when there's less options and variables. Summer, it's just a buffet in the water. So I think you're gonna have fish doing a little bit of everything. You can kind of hone in on how you wanna catch them and target those fish in the weeds that are eating bluegills and perch. Or you can get out over the deeper water and pull crawlers, those fish that are focusing on places where big bug hatches are happening. And I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I tied on 5 confidence baits that cover anything from 5 feet of water to 30 feet of water. And I did not want to come up with a game plan of how I wanted to catch them. I wanted to come out here and try to see what the hummingbird's going to show me for how I should try to catch them. There's a few fish on this little gravelly point. Not a lot. I don't know normally I don't think I would stop, because there's only like 2 or 3. So I guess I need to do what I normally do. Don't stop on 2 fish. Keep looking for a pod of 5, 6, 8 fish, or 20. I mean, that'd be nice. All right, let's keep rolling. Let's go check spot number 2. So there's some fish. All right, so right here we got a weed edge, and right on the edge of the weeds you can see 1, 2, 3 nicer marks sitting real tight to that edge. I am going to cursor over, drop a waypoint on their face, go back to my map, and funny enough, I actually had a waypoint, 20 feet away. Dude, it is windy. I graphed those fish right on the edge of that weed wall, and we got 30 mile-per-hour winds today. Not ideal. And so what I did, after I dropped a waypoint on those fish, I went and dropped the front trolling motor and had it down with my spot lock ready. I just had a little perch on again. So that when I was idling back up towards it, I was ready to hit spot lock coming into the wind, so that as soon as I hit spot lock and I was where the boat wanted to be, we'd be locked. And as I got within about 15 or 18 feet of that waypoint where those fish are right on the edge of the weeds, there was another pot of fish, like 5, 6 fish down in the bottom. So my plan was to slowly slide up, hit spot lock once I was just upwind from those 3 marks sitting on the edge of the weeds, and then cast a Ned Rig or a paddle tail back in them. But then I saw a pot of deeper fish out in front of it, so I'm just trying a couple of pitches with the jigging rap first, and then I'll switch baits and we'll toss up in those weeds. With 30 mile-per-hour winds, everything is just going to be a lot more difficult. It would be a good day to go pull spinners across a weed flat, which we might get to. Now I'm just jogging us in 5, 10 foot increments, backwards, in a little bit, out a little bit. I gotta try Deadly Nedley. Oh. Oh. I don't want to talk about it. I might have thought it was a weed for like the first 5 seconds. That was heavy. It was so heavy. Go! What an idiot. Did you see that? I just messed up another one. God dang it. That one was heavy and staying down and dogging. Now you know the next bite I'm gonna get all excited and then it's gonna be a 13-inch bass. And that was not a 13-inch bass. That was like a 24-inch walleye, I would say. Crazy thick weed wall. Hitting that, riding that line where it tapers off. And pooching giants, that's what we do best. Pooch giants. Giant cloud of I don't know if they're perch or shiners. Obviously it's fuzzy because I've got the gain sensitivity jacked all the way up. I prefer to see everything that's going on. A lot of people like that nice clear clean screen, and I turn it up like 12 more notches because I want to see if there's bugs in the water. I want to see my line, not just my bait too. Like, really helps me miss more fish and lose more fish. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. Whoa.
I like your boogers. Where'd you get them? Booger cam, man.
Booger cam. Well, officially messed up these fish. I suppose keep moving on.
2 hours later.
Little fishies, little fishies. Shadows over to the left. Yeah, dude, look at this. They're suspended weird. Oh, they're chasing bait fish. Dude, big marks chasing that little scoodle bait fish around. Insert swim bait here. That was cool. They are harassing those bait fish. Following, chasing, 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 chasing. He's right on it. Dude, what? I just watched it follow it for 20 feet and then not eat. Okay. There's my Ned Rig falling down. See them all coming up chasing it. And whichever ones you see, they're all going to bottom. Dude. We need one of these things to eat it so I can tell you what the species is. How, can you believe there wasn't one on there? There was 8 fish chasing it to bottom. Wow. Okay, jigging rap time. Let's see. If they want to follow and chase but not eat, then I guess we'll try a reaction bite. Look at all those. Wow. Got him. Got him. First cast with the jigging rap. Dude, look at all those fish. Holy smokes, there's a ton down there. That was so tasty to throw back. What am I doing? Dude, I'm so excited right now. We maybe showed you a little snippet of it, but we have checked 12 plus spots. We've tried so many different techniques, and I know we were going to try to show every step along the way, but it was like a couple hours of grinding and trying to figure out something, anything. We're just scanning this. It's kind of like a 15-foot deep hump, kind of middle of nowhere. There's no weeds on it. And side imaging lit up. There's a pod of, I don't know, maybe 20 walleyes working the top of this thing. And you saw on that live scope shot, they're literally chasing around bait fish and like just sitting underneath them attacking it. So wild that like I only made one cast with a swim bait because they followed it and didn't commit. Tried the Ned Rig next cast. They all chased it down to bottom but then didn't eat. So one cast with each bait, switched to a jigging rap. And that reaction bite fooled that one. Now I gotta line up and see where they're at here again. There we go. So we got fish from 25 all the way out to 50, awkwardly into the wind. But number 9 jigging wraps weigh 10 pounds, which is one reason I bumped up from a 7 to a 9, just because of the wind. Oh, just rolled one.
There we go.
Nice. Looks like a good one. Want to walk back here and I'll scoop them for you? Had to call on the reinforcements and have the camera dude chuck a jigging wrap out there, and he's got the magic touch. That looked like a good one. Tell me when you're close. I'll just grab it. I got your back. Oh! Grab that fish out. Dude.
Golden, little yellow.
Yeah, give us a little perky perk. Dunk dunk.
Get up there. Alright.
Nice fish. Just snagged what's for dinner. If you can't see, so those bait fish that those fish are chasing in those clouds are actually little perch. I just caught that one on a jigging wrap. Hoffman caught another nice 25-incher on a jigging wrap. And I'm just trying a couple casts of the flat jig now, just a little bigger profile, heavier. They seem to really like that reaction bite, so I don't know. We're going to snap hard and see if we can get a few more of these in. Match the hatch. They got smarter. I gotta try the Ned Rig again. I just have so much confidence in this dumb thing.
I got this model right under your helmet.
I don't know what this is. Pike? Question mark? It's gotta be a pike. Or it's a good walleye. Oh, it's a smallie. Shut up. Oh, it's a tank smallie. Dude, look at the size of that thing. Wow. All right. Well, no wonder they look like walleyes and they're acting like walleyes, because these are basically the same fish. Deep humps, summertime spots, 2 for 1s. That's a giant for this lake. We're not on Mille Lacs, but that is a Mille Lacs caliber smallmouth. Sick. All right, we better continue the walleye mission, huh? Although I would like to catch 4 more of these. Get my inner Brandon Cizik on. Sick. Little bonus small jaw action. So that one came on a Ned Rig, little 3/32 ounce VMC Ned Rig Jig with a turd on the back. And we popped those couple walleyes on a jigging wrap and rolled a couple fish, and we were watching them dart and chase and just be aggressive. And then the mood switched like that, like clockwork. And they stopped chasing and they started just moseying around. So we fired off jigging wraps for a little while, trying to pick off a couple more. And finally was like, we got to switch up what we're doing. Fishing memories isn't just fishing spots you were fishing. We all get honed in on wanting to catch them a certain way, wanting to catch them how they were just biting 10 minutes ago. But picked up a Ned Rig, popped that big bonus smallie, and now trying to see if I can coax a couple walleyes into a little bit more finesse-y tactic. If I start seeing them chasing and darting and stuff on live again, I'll definitely go back to the jigging wrap, but slowing down, trying to pluck a few more out of the pod.
10 seconds later.
Oh, no way! Dude, suspendo?
I don't know.
Well, you casted 70 feet that way. There was nothing but one big mark up there. It's either walleye or big. That was a nasty little shortcut. First cast with that craw.
Come on, come on.
Nice fish. I'm just gonna show this for everybody. Drop shot. Bass fishing for walleyes, bro. Nice fish. First, so sick.
Nico hook. Nico hook in the top of the jaw.
Yes. Yes, dude. So cool. Ready, Chach? We're out of here. We're moving. First, obviously, walleyes eat drop shots. Not just a drop shot with a leech. That thing was like 2 feet off bottom, out off the break, and Hoffman chucked it actually had a crayfish style bait on it. At it, scarfed it. We didn't know if it was gonna be a 22-inch smallmouth or a 24-inch walleye. So I like that. Anytime it works out like that. And now these fish are just slowing down. They're not really chasing. They'll come up and look at the bait, not eat. And normally if this was a walleye whackers league or a walleye tournament, I know I would sit here and camp and camp and camp and be like, well, we caught 2 24s and rolled a couple fish and caught another small one. We know they're here, like, let's get them to bite. And I would sit there and I would waste the rest of the night on fish that are not biting. So we're forcing ourselves to leave with 20 fish on live and find some fresh fish, find some active stuff. Figure something else out. I'm going whether you're sitting or not. All those walleyes came off of kind of little main lake humps, but they didn't have weeds on them, or like really scattered weeds, which is really weird. I was expecting to come out here and find them on that cabbage coontail mix, and those 2 little humps that were near each other where all those fish were like kind of a hard bottom, some scattered gravel, maybe 1 boulder here and there, but just a hard bottom without much for weeds, but there was bait there. So now that we kind of have a pattern of what to look for, and those fish were bitey when we got there, I'm gonna run to a couple of other spots and side image them, main lake humps, surrounded by deep water, and look for ones that are kind of bare without the big weed mats, without the cabbage and stuff on top of it, and see if we can just duplicate and do the same thing 3 miles away. Hey, we're back. We were halfway through this video, and those nice 30-mile-per-hour winds brought in a quick pop-up thunderstorm, and then another one, and then another one. So we hit on shore like a couple of sissies and got some food to eat. Snuck back out here for the last hour. Wind laid down flat, and those fish were just tight-lipped. They would not touch anything, and I get it. They just had thunder, lightning, oh how frightening, coming over their heads, and something obviously changed with the pressure and whatever, but anyway, so it's just, this is the biggest mistake I've been making in my walleye fishing, and you don't just have to be fishing a league or a tournament to realize that you can't keep fishing memories. And I know you got to practice what you preach, right? Use your electronics, find active fish. If they're not biting, even if there's fish there, there's only so much you can do to get them to bite. And it's something that I just wanted to put this out there to, I guess, hold myself accountable to. Pre-fish on game day and scan and use the electronics and just stay on them. And if it doesn't look right, keep moving. And yeah, that's that. So I don't know where we're off to next. We'll figure out something. And in the meantime, thanks for putting up with a couple of yahoos catching walleyes on oddball drop shots and Ned rigs and whatnot. Thanks so much for watching.